to Food Travelers. In this episode, we are in Salt Lake City, Utah, and we are visiting a Italian restaurant in a really historic building, Micah, literally historic. Um, and we're gonna try some really nice Italian food there. The restaurant's called Cafe Molise.
Yeah, Simon. So this restaurant is located downtown Salt Lake City, inspired by the Molise region of Italy, focused on the regional and local ingredients, as they said on their website. And on Friday evenings, they do feature live jazz music, and they are located 2 blocks south of the Salt Palace Convention Center. And this is a historic building, like Simon said. It was constructed in the early 1900s, and it used to be the old Eagles Club. Some information about their operation hours. They are open lunch daily from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Dinner from Sundays to Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And Fridays, Saturdays from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And as you saw in the video, there is an outdoor patio section. We sat inside and we did make reservations to this restaurant. And as you enter the restaurant, there is a waiting area by the door. And it's a small bar on the other side of that. And it's pretty large inside overall, I would say. It's definitely good for large party groups. And I imagine it will be filled up completely, especially on weekends and evenings. Especially in those Friday evenings with those live jazz music.
Yeah, we actually came here for lunch, and we were probably the first, or one of the first people who were in the restaurant. So you can see it's fairly empty at the time that we were there, but people started flowing in as we sat down. And definitely, as Micah said, it's a large space and it's quite beautiful. I really enjoy these historic buildings to go eat. There's a few places I've gone before. There was a place in Oregon in the Dalles I used to go, and it was an old bank and it turned into a restaurant, and that was really cool to see. And we've also been to some historic buildings in Washington when Mike and I both went to go have some Texas style barbecue, and that was in a historic building as well. So it's always fun to kind of go into these old places and kind of just see it, and you can feel the history behind it when you're in there too. But this was really fun.
Yeah, I agree, Simon. I always enjoy coming to these restaurants and buildings in general that are historically used, and it's always fun to see that. And starting off, they did give us some bread rolls. I thought they were pretty good. I think they are made in-house because they arrive nice and hot and steamy, and it's really soft and everything. I did enjoy it with that olive oil and vinegar, but I personally kind of feel like it'll be even better with butter. and it did go well with a lot of the dishes that we had.
See, I mean, I wanted to add on the bread. I do believe they are made in-house, and it's really soft and fluffy. It has a really nice texture to it. The only thing is, if you like a crispy outer shell, that it doesn't have. And there is butter. You can tell there's butter in the bread, but as Micah said, he wanted extra butter. But it was very delicious to go with the olive oil and the balsamic vinegar. Like classic combination to start out, and it's very delicious.
And starting off with our appetizers in the beginning of the video, we did have the polenta, and we then moved on with the entrees with the gnocchi and also the pappardelle al sugo, which is like the house-made pappardelle tossed with savory slow-coat sauce of the pork and beef with tomatoes and topped with Asiago.
And one of the reasons, Micah, when we would discuss actually coming to this place was outside of the actual site itself and the historic look to the place, was that we recently went on a trip to Cambodia, and we actually had Italian food there. And so when we came back, we kind of thought it would be really nice to actually have a comparison, to come and eat Italian food in Cambodia, and then now eat Cambodian food back, or not Cambodian food, Italian food back in the States, and in this case in Salt Lake City. And so it was really interesting to have the comparison, which I really enjoy, because you get different versions, especially when it's overseas versus what's here at home, and it's just such a different array of ingredients and also flavors that it kind of makes things so different and unique. Where you always think food could be the same, but then when you go eat it at different places, you see how different they actually are.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they're definitely very different, and as you see in the video, the portions are ginormous. Really can't imagine eating all that by myself. I'm really glad that we went with the family style version where we're always sharing the food because this is a lot of food.
Yeah, definitely. I think from what we ordered, Micah, that was probably good for a family of four. Easy to be have plenty of food for four people to eat and be plenty full. And price-wise, it was pretty good. At least compared up to Seattle, Micah, where a lot of things up here are much more expensive than it is down in Salt Lake City. But I think one of the things that I really enjoyed is kind of having that mixture of having that flat noodles that we had compared to kind of the gnocchi, which is one of my favorites. I always tend to get gnocchi because I just really like to see the difference when people make essentially the potato pasta and getting into certain consistency and texture with it, and when it's done really well and it's done right, it has a light, fluffy, cloudy texture to it. And then when you can have the opposite end where it's much more on that rubbery side. And so in this case, I thought it was kind of in the middle. It wasn't as cloudy, puffy, soft as I would have liked, but it wasn't definitely not the worst that I've had where it's essentially like you're chewing rubber bands. This was a pretty good version. It was decent. I did not regret ordering it, so that was something that's always good when you're eating something at a restaurant.
Yeah, I agree with Simon. I think you made a really good analogy there where it's actually right in the middle, as Simon said. It's not overly cloudy and soft and pillowy like you would really like. Like the one we had in Cambodia, I really liked that one. I thought that was way softer. This one had a more chewy texture to it, but like Simon said, it's not rubbery by any means at all. And with the flat noodle, I thought that was a nice dish. It's something that we normally don't order. Like we almost never order flat noodles, and I thought it was nice that we had something like that. And with the slow cooked pork and beef with the tomato, it really did help soak up all that sauce and everything, and I thought that was really good. And then moving along with the dessert, we had the tiramisu, and that's made with lady fingers, flavored with espresso, layered with sweetened Italian cream cheese. Just like the lunch portions, this was pretty large piece as well. Definitely can't feed like 4 people or more. I definitely would not order this just for yourself unless that's like the main thing you're just eating for lunch. To me, it tasted more like it's like a mousse cake style. It's very creamy. And it's not overly sweet. What do you think, Simon?
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. It wasn't. It's something that's not quite like how I prefer it, but it had that little creaminess. And what I really did appreciate is, I don't like it too sweet. So if you are in the Salt Lake area city and you want to try some pretty decent Italian food, go ahead up and hit Cafe Molise and give that a try. And to wrap up the episode are our notables, and unfortunately for this episode we did not have any notables.
And to support our channel, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the YouTube algorithm. And for more photos, follow us on Instagram. See you guys on the next episode.